What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I'm JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dog. With our powers combined, we are the fantasy crew.
JJ Wang, it is week 14. How did this happen?
I don't know. It's depressing. I don't like it.
Y- y- I am a big Christmas guy. And you know what my least favorite day of the year is? Literally Christmas Day.
It was because it's like kind of like the last day of football.
Yeah, it's like it's over. It's like it's going to come to an end. Now we're at week 14 of the fantasy season, and half of our friends aren't going to pay attention anymore.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
And
but at least we got an extra week of football. At least we got a little extra week. I wish they could, do football year round, but it's just not good for these guys.
yeah, it wouldn't be good. I think their ratings would get clobbered. It's kind of like people like watching baseball. Like I can only watch my team if it was on all the. If I try to keep up with every team all the time, I would lose my mind. I got friends that do it. It's just crazy. This week's devastating for me, but I'll get into that in a
I mean, I
moment
can
here.
I can keep up with my fantasy baseball team, but I can't keep up with like regular
That's
team.
it. Yeah, we did that. Defeating champ.
Yeah.
But yeah, so check out the Fantasy Couriers on Twitter, Instagram, all the same places. We're there. Hit us up at the Fantasy Couriers at gmail.com or the fantasycouriers.wixsite.com/website, where all the links are in the bottom. I'm not going to go through saying them all. We'd love to hear from you. Facebook's got the podcast embedded. So if you're looking for somewhere just to do it quick and simple and you got your phone nearby, click us on the podcast there and you got us. But JJ Wang is going to continue his expertise. We'll jump into some dynasty. Then we're going to hit the regular season injuries and play a little Christmas game called Present or Call. So JJ Wang, could you enlighten me on some of these college running backs?
Yeah, so last week I did six quarterbacks. That might have been a little much. I might have rambled on quite a quite a while. I'm sure nobody wants to hear me ramble on for six guys. So I'm only going to try to do three running backs. Maybe go a little quicker. So these are like the two of the top guys, and then one of them is kind of a guy that I kind of personally like. The first guy is like pretty much like the number one guy. I guess would probably be Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. So I will say all three of these guys are pretty big guys. That's the kind of running back that I like. So that's kind of the ones I'm going to go with.
Like Ramondre Stevenson, you're saying?
Well, kind of. He's like Isaiah. Not that big. Maybe he's like what 235. Maybe is he
I think
about?
so.
Yeah. So Isaiah Spiller's 6'1", 225. I mean, that's a pretty big dude. That's kind of the guy you want leading your way as running back, especially if you want that three down back. And he can't catch the ball. He's got 74 career receptions in 3 years. And for college, that's a lot. 25 receptions a year in college for these guys. That's a lot. Back to back 1,000 yard seasons. So he doesn't have that big rushing stats. 19, 2,000 yard seasons, but he's consistent 5.5 yards a carry. And 25 total touchdowns over 3 years. So he can do it all. I mean, that's the kind of, big guy that can catch and he can get goal lines. So he's got all three phases of the game there. So watch out for Isaiah Spiller. The second guy's probably he had the better year last year. So coming into this year, this was probably the number one guy. That's Brees Hall out of Iowa. He's another 6'1", 220. So the last 2 years, he's got 3,000 yards rushing, 41 TDs, and 59 receptions. So he's another big guy that can also catch. He's got a nose for the end zone as well. Shows the 41 touchdowns in 2 years. That's impressive
Oh,
for college.
yeah.
So he's got two 1,500-yard seasons in college. So watch out for Brees Hall. He's another one of those three down backs that could come in right away. And my favorite guy, well, I don't know about my favorite. One of my favorites is Zach Charbonnet. Kind of like the name. It's kind of like what I gravitate to. It started out in Michigan, did all right in Michigan. I think he had 800 yards the year before, and then he transferred to UCLA this year. UCLA did a little better than they have in the past with who's the coach? He was the Eagles coach that come out of Oregon, Chip Kelly.
Chip
Yeah,
Kelly.
so he's the coach at UCLA. Not great by any stretch of the means, but he finished the season with 1,137 yards, 13 touchdowns, pretty good. And then he also had the 24 catches. So all three of these guys, the big guys, Charbonnet is also 6'1", 220. So they're all big guys that can catch. So they can play the goal line and they can play on a third down in between the field, in between the 20. So it's the kind of guy you want. So watch out for these three guys. That next week we'll do some wide receivers. So many wide receivers that we could probably do like 7 shows on the amount of wide receivers that are coming out of college. But that just goes in trim with the last 3 years. There's so many young receivers coming into the game. It's just crazy. I don't know where they're all going to go. Not all of them could be productive. I mean, there's only so many balls to go around, so somebody's gonna get left out.
Oh, we're going to talk about a ton of guys in the offseason that we'll never hear of again. And we'll get excited for rookie drafts. We'll draft these guys and go, whatever happened to Jim Bob Jones or
Yeah, it
whatever.
happens
And
every year. It happens every year. You
and
fall in love with these guys.
just for everybody who is as dumb as me, Isaiah Spiller is not related to CJ Spiller. There is no relation. I was curious. I had to look it up.
I
So
mean,
I hope.
that was a good question. I probably thought about. I don't think I've ever looked that up, but I'm pretty sure I've thought about that.
Yeah, I was like, hopefully not, because
Hope
CJ
he's
Spiller.
better.
Yeah, I was gonna say CJ Spiller was a beast in college, and then
It
so
happens.
yeah, that's some good insight from our dynasty expert here, JJ Wang. It's going to be our off-season conversation. We'll get more in depth with him throughout the first couple months before the draft, because what else are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
And just keep updated. We'll give you updated and up on a off-season schedule as we figured out when we get there and see what we got for you guys. So just keep on supporting us, keep on rocking with us. Couple of injury notes, and then we'll jump into the game. Wide receivers in Los Angeles. Apparently, they all coughed on each other and licked some doorknobs.
Oh
Everybody has
yeah.
COVID.
I guess. I mean, I guess they're. It just goes to show you that they're a close knit, community up there. I mean, at least they're all tight and they all hang out. So
So does that mean you start Guyton or just get really excited for Eckler?
I mean, I guess you can start Guyton. I mean, Guyton played pretty well. Did he have a touchdown last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, touchdown. I mean, that was probably his first touchdown in like 7 weeks. So I don't think you can really rely on it. But I think it'd probably be more Eckler than anything. Maybe a couple tight ends might get Cook and what's the other guy's name?
Oh, the Parham.
Yeah, Carl might get
I,
a few more
I
catches.
did read prior to recording. We said we're recording these on Thursdays now. That Mike Williams did pass his first COVID test.
What about the kid from the rookie from Tennessee? What was his
Oh,
name?
the guy that had like 30 catches in the
Yeah,
in college.
yeah. Can't remember his name.
Palmer, right?
Yeah, Josh Palmer.
Palmer,
He
yeah.
might get. He gets a catch here and there. Maybe I'll start him this week. I got him in the starting.
I'll be
But
honest. I think they both start. They're both vaccinated, and it depends. Like I haven't heard about Allen, so maybe Allen got sick. But if Williams passed with a negative COVID test, that means he should be fine because that'll give him 2 and 24. But I haven't heard about Allen, so keep an eye on him. And Williams might pass it, and you might get the Mike Williams that the stat line on the full season looks like. But every sixth week he scores tons.
why not?
And also Eli Mitchell. Apparently, did you know he goes by Eli Mitchell's what they call him? I've called him Elijah the entire time, and I've seen
I like
like Eli Mitchell.
I like Elijah, so I'm going to continue calling him
Elijah
Elijah.
sounds more sophisticated.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know. He sounds good. Elijah Mitchell, you think he plays this week?
Not I don't, the way it's sounding, the way
His
people
noggin,
are
right?
it doesn't. What is it?
What is the injury? I just brain fart on the injury.
I'm
Is
not
it-
really.
Is he concussion?
I think it was a concussion. I think that was.
I thought it was his
Because
noggin.
I've been hearing like they've been bringing in running backs to kind of try to
His knee.
Oh, his knee. I didn't.
And he's in the
well,
concussion protocol. He's falling apart.
But yeah, so that's what all those carries come from. He had like 25 carries the last 3 weeks. So that'd be maybe Michael Hasty might get a lot of run because Trey Sermon's on the hour, and then I don't know what happened there. And then the other guy, Wilson, Jeff, I don't think he's playing. So the only guy left is Jermichael Hasty. So hey, go Jermichael Hasty.
Yeah, so I was gonna like, Trey Sermon, man, what a wasted draft pick. I'm kind of glad I have very few rookie draft picks this year. It's makes me kind of happy to a point, but then they're gonna all be really good. I don't know. So looking at bye weeks, there's one really devastating to me. The Dolphins don't play this week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about on Tuesday. You'll need to carry the show. I'm all out of information.
It's not enough to talk about without talking about the Dolphins.
But the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Colts, and the Patriots. I have a team that has somehow too many Dolphins and Eagles.
Well, I got a team with defense IDP, right? So I got a team that's got Carson Wentz, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Darius Leonard, and the Colts defense.
Mine was Goddard, Smith. I just got Waddle, and I'm just pummel and Pittman. Yeah, so it's a empty zone. So yeah, look into those. You got some holes to fill. Running backs. New England defense is actually a big hole I have to fill in one of my leagues. Miami's defense is stepping up and playing pretty good as well currently. So good luck this week. Keep an eye on them. Make sure you don't play guys on bye, especially if you're trying to fit into the playoffs, which is super important this week. But we're going to go through. In case if you're not watching, I'm wearing my Star Wars Christmas shirt. If you can see out my window, I've got way too much Christmas, the kind that makes people want to vomit. So I figure I'll push it on JJ Wang for 2 weeks here as we get into the season, and then we'll
I like
and
Christmas.
he likes, yeah, he said he likes you said you like the lights, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, I
I'll have
like
to, I think I sent you the video of the glow as it's popping out. The airplanes just keep crashing into our lawn, so forth. I did see the neighbors at Home Depot the other day, and I was like, hey, are y'all trying to, like, these people next door just keep having all these lights. We got to get some more lights. It's like an addiction. It's really bad.
it.
I need to, I need a sponsor or something for my lights addiction. It's pathetic.
This bad part is you gotta when you put them up, you gotta take them down.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's weird. I leave them up. I turn them off Christmas Day and leave them up a little bit. But I had one that just shorted out, was blowing my breaker, and it turns out I had a bad light. I had to redo it. Oh, frustrating. Anyway, that's not important to you all. Let's talk about presents or coal. JJ Wang is going to be our resident Santa Claus today. We're going to go through a couple of the games going on this week. I'm going to name two players. One of those players, you get to give a present. One of those players, you get to give a lump of coal. Some of these are tougher than others. Some games I'm going to skip just because there's some terrible games this week. For example, Seattle and Texas.
What happens at the end of the year, man?
Oh, man, because you get into divisions, and if a division is garbage, the games are going to be garbage. So we're getting close to divisions, not yet, but some of these go here. So let's start with a pretty cruddy one. Santa Claus here. Let's look at New Orleans and the Jets. You have Taysom Hill, who supposedly is going to play, and Zach Wilson. Who's getting a present? Who's getting coal?
Well, I don't even think this is close, just because of the fact that Taysom Hill had 100 yards rushing last week. He's kind of got that cheat code. So Taysom Hill is all present, and Wilson's one good game out of the year is not enough to give him anything but a whole bag of coal. So I'm going to go with Taysom Hill based on his running upside. He had 4 interceptions last week, but to go along with the 100 yard rushing, he still ended up with like 20 fantasy points. I mean,
Yeah, his middle finger is all jacked up. That's
it,
that. I was seeing if you'd fall for the trap. I don't know if you would with the injury or not with that one. The next ones might be a little tougher for you. Let's move into Atlanta and Carolina. DJ Moore, and we're talking about two inconsistent guys here. Basically, they're really good players. DJ Moore or your boy Kyle Pitts.
But so both of these are actually my boy. I love DJ Moore a lot. I like Kyle Pitts a lot, and this is a tough. I want to get them both cold. I'm not confident in one of them, but I would have to say Pitts would get the present here just because I think the passing volume is more than what they can offer in Carolina. With I guess Cam Newton still the starting quarterback in Carolina. I'm guessing.
I got a guy starting Cam Newton against me this week. I was curious about that.
I haven't heard it, so I'm guessing he's starting. I haven't heard anything, but yeah, I just don't trust. I mean, I know DJ Moore did get that touchdown before the bye, but just one time he only had like 50 yards.
Yeah,
One
he's been
touchdown
going down.
last
He's
6 or
killing me in
7
one
weeks.
league.
Can't trust that, so I'm gonna go with Pitts as the president. DJ Moore's a cold.
Wow, I'd probably go the other way, just because the Atlanta team seems to be puttering and only throwing to Patterson, but it's pretty much a push here. So you could throw the coal both ways might be the win on that one.
Yeah, I'll go both ways.
This one's a little tougher if there's a rumor that Pollard might not play. Like there's something I was reading some articles earlier when I was jotting down some notes, and you're shaking your head, so I know which way you're going. Dallas and Washington, the classic rivalry here, the football team versus the Cowboys, the standard American traditional Western story. Zeke or Gibson?
Well, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Gibson with my president just because like last 4 games, football team's been undefeated. He's been 25 carries a game. Zeke, I mean, without Pollard, he'll probably get 20 carries, 25 carries too, but he's probably going to average out to maybe 46 yards. So by 2.7 yards per carry, it seems the way Zeke's year has been going. He might fall in for a touchdown, but I'm going to go with the hotness over the last 4 games and give Gibson my present and Zeke my coal. I mean, Zeke is really hurting a lot of fantasy guys this year.
Yes, he is.
Well, Gibson was too until the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, after I traded him. But I look at that trading for Cam Akers, who I think, based upon how the Rams running backs are going on, next year it's gonna be okay to have Cam Akers.
I guess. We'll have all 3 of them there next week.
This next one I have in chunks here. Well, we're looking at Jacksonville versus Tennessee this week. The running game of Jacksonville, assuming that James Robinson doesn't fumble and Urban Meyer's not a complete moron, and he listens to Trevor Lawrence, who said, play James Robinson. I mean, Hyde is a good secondary guy.
Like Carlos Hyde also fumbled, and he was also taken out of the game. That's why they put James Robinson back in.
They're so dumb. So let's say nobody fumbles.
Yeah.
all is square, Jacksonville backfield versus the Tennessee backfield of you got Foreman, you got Hilliard, and McNichols is back off the IR, and we don't even know what's kind of him. Which backfield do you think is going to have a stronger fantasy performance if you started team backfield per se?
So I'm just going to go off the last game Tennessee played and just give Tennessee my
200 yards.
presence because I mean I'm not. I mean I really want to like Jacksonville, but you really can't at this point. They don't. The quarterback's not good. The running game isn't good. The receivers aren't good. The defense isn't good. Tight end's not good. At least in Tennessee, I mean the running game was good last game. They both put up 100 yards. So I'm going to go Tennessee with presence, and Jacksonville is a whole bunch of goals. They suck.
What does Jacksonville need to be good?
I don't know. I don't know what it takes. I have no idea. I mean, better players. I guess. I guess. I don't. I mean,
Thank you.
maybe a better. I thought Urban Meyer would be a little better of a coach than he is, but I guess I was wrong on that one too. I usually am. So
I didn't think much of what Urban Meyer was going to do. I would love to. The good news is the last time that James Robinson played against the Titans, he ran 18 for $149. So it could be closer than we're thinking. Riding the hot hand makes sense to me. I'm hoping my boy James Robinson bounces back because he's been kicking me.
But again, like neither one of these teams is very good right now. So I mean, it was
30, 15 seconds, 2 buckets of coal. Seattle, Texas, Russ or Mills?
I'm gonna go. Oh, my boy Mills. I'm gonna go. Mills is a president, and Russ is a Cole. I'm all over the Mills train. I didn't even play. And Russ is really sucking right now, especially DK Metcalf. So I'm not giving him anything.
Yeah, I had to throw that just for fun. Vegas plays Kansas City. Josh Jacobs or Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I think Josh Jacobs is the president. He's getting a lot more work, especially with Drake down with the ankle. So there's not a lot of people there. CEH still coming back from the injury, and he still has the Darrell Williams to contend with for some of the work. So I'm gonna go Jacobs, presence, and CEH Cole.
We'll see.
That's not a very good present because I don't think
that's like socks and underwear.
Even though getting older, I do look forward to getting socks and underwear every year.
Well, when our toes start sticking out, we're like, okay, we're good now. But is CEH going to be a Chief in 2 years?
So he's a first round pick, so the guy is
4, option, maybe right?
5. I think he probably stays there the whole 5 years. So I guess maybe after the third, or he's been there 2 years, so after the third year. I think if you're going to get him there, I think you at least got to pick up his option.
It depends what the price is. He might be like $15 million.
He's not terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think could they do better? Yeah, but then again, everybody on that team could probably do better this year.
Yeah. It's been a weird underperforming team. And here's a Baltimore plays Cleveland this week, which could be a really good game. Pick a running back, Lamar or Chubb. Who's going to have a better running back week?
I'll go. You know what? I'm gonna go with Chubb. I think Chubb has one of those big games. I mean, Lamar is probably still gonna rush for 80 or 90, but I think Chubb is due for one of those games where he has 16 carries for 170 yards. I know Baltimore's defense is maybe a little better. Probably a low-scoring game. They're gonna run the ball a lot. You know what? I'll go Chubb. Chubb is the present. Lamar with the. I wouldn't give Lamar a call because he's still going to be good, but
we got it's one of these games are always like sometimes they're total garbage, like the Russ Mills thing, or both these guys should have good. Although Lamar's been a dud recently, so as a quarterback at least, like as a running back, he's been okay, but it's going to be a low scoring, messy game.
Yeah, I really don't have Lamar anywhere, so I don't know really what his stats.
Yeah, it's not been good. Last week,
I do know I don't have Pat Mahomes anywhere, and I do know he has been struggling. Just pointing that out.
There's such hate here, man. Oh, such hate. Let's go with some first round picks from a couple years ago. Detroit at Denver. Noah Fant, TJ Hockenson.
Probably Hockenson. Fant's terrible. I don't like him at all. He hasn't had.
I didn't ask if you liked him. I said
I did like him. He hasn't had a good game in 12 weeks. I'm gonna go at least Hawk has a decent game every now and then. Fant's terrible.
Yeah, I was going to throw Judy. Say I put Judy instead of Fant. Pick a receiver. How about Patrick even? Patrick or Hockenson? Is there any?
I'm taking Hockenson overall. I'm taking Hockenson over all of them, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, especially Judy hasn't done anything since he come back from injury, and I don't feel like Patrick's done anything since Judy has come back from injury. So I'm gonna just pick Hockenson. This is the only receiver they got. Oh, other than St. Brown.
I'm in Ross St. Brown. Good grief. What are you talking about?
One good game doesn't make a career, I guess.
It makes a lot of careers, actually. It makes a lot of money. Not really a career, I guess. I got one. Let's see what we're looking on time. I got two more. This one's going to be, I think, a little more interesting. San Francisco plays Cincinnati this week. Jimmy G or Joe Burrow?
Oh, Joe Burrow. I don't even think.
Really?
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow's. I don't know. San Francisco's defense isn't playing all that great, so I think Cincinnati. Joe Burrow has a better chance of a better game than Garoppolo does. I mean, Garoppolo can't have a good game. But has Garoppolo had a good game?
He's got 1, 2, 3 300-yard games this year, but he also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under 200 yards games. So last week he had 299, two touchdowns, two interceptions. So it's I have faith in Jimmy G. I think he's going to finish out the season. I think he's playing good enough that
Good enough for what?
good enough to keep your boy out of the field.
Well, not much longer because they're about to be out of the playoffs.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be decided because does he on a 1-year contract? Is his contract up, or are they going? That might be a difference too.
I feel like he's been there forever, but I mean, he's barely good enough to get them into the playoffs. So I don't even know what they're waiting on.
With seven seeds, they're playing for that 7th seed. Like that, they're still in the hunt. They're not totally out yet.
That loss to Seattle really hurt their chances last week.
Yeah, I think it would kick him in the tail. And let's end up with a guy you don't like versus a guy that's really good. I don't even know why am I even doing this one. Monday night, Los Angeles versus Arizona. Odell Beckham or DeAndre Hopkins?
Odell Beckham.
Okay, now Cooper Kupp. We know Cooper Kupp versus D Hop.
Yeah, we're definitely picking Kupp here. He's getting all the presents. I mean, if you want a 2-catch game for 27 yards and possibly a touchdown, yeah, go for D Hop all the way. Well, if you want 8 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown, you can go for. I feel like that's a very big present. He's been giving you presents all year. Why would you go away from?
Who saw that coming? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's go with OBJ versus D Hop. Those stat lines are very similar. If OBJ finally got into the 2 last week, his stat line is similar to what you're pulling for D Hop. If you had DFS say OBJ's cheaper.
That's a very interesting question. I think I might actually take the big play potential, especially if you're like DFS, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking DFS because you're not going to set D Hop over OBJ. That's stupid.
Oh, but yeah.
DFS, OBJ is probably a 4,000 or 5,000.
I'm terrible at DFS, so I don't know if you would take my advice here. But I think the cheaper option of Beckham for getting a deep ball might be a little better than paying so much for Hopkins and his 2 catches, 3 targets for 27 yards.
Yeah, I usually go cheaper on receiver anyway, so it's an interesting just the dynamic seeing him break out next week. Will it continue? And if it does, I have a team that's going to benefit from that in the playoffs. He could be one of those playoff winners because Kupp's going to get his. But if they keep passing and the running game keeps stinking, unless Michelle steps up, it could be an interesting one. So, but yeah,
I hope he steps up.
Lots of presents in Cole. Hopefully, you've been a good boy this year, man. I think next week we're going to talk about the naughty list, some guys that are on there, and what they might have to do to get back on our nice list again. And we'll
play good. That's what you could do. Play good. I mean, play good. Get right back on. I've got zero quarrels with putting you back on my list if you just play good. I don't care.
Might even just read off our naughty and nice list. We'll see where we go. There's the idea popped out there. Real quickly from me, my kids are popping on and ringing a bell this weekend for the Salvation Army. The link's always been in the thread for the next couple of weeks. They have raised $1,125 as of this recording, and they're super excited this weekend to ring the bell. So if you want to follow that link and donate, they would love to hear from you.
Did you see where you could use your debit card for the Salvation Army now?
Really?
Did you see that? I don't know if they. I don't think all.
I haven't seen at the.
I don't think they all have it because I was at one. I went through Royal King in front of Royal, and I don't think they were classy enough to have one. I didn't see it, but I was watching a news snippet on YouTube or something. Like some of the Salvation Armies got your you could just scan your debit card. All you gotta do is scan it, and boom, it's done. It's done like right there. You don't have to do anything. Just scan it. They take out $5 and move on.
We go straight through Facebook, and Facebook doesn't take any money. So until they don't take any money, it's super easy, and we're just rolling through. Yeah, they're excited. They do this thing called the Happy Dance. They did one with Santa, and they're doing another one this weekend at some time to record it. So it's pretty.
The Happy Dance.
Yeah, it's called the Happy Dance. Grayson basically does the Fortnite dance. Same thing. It looked like a little like was that boomerang kind of thing when it came through. It was pretty cool. He did it with him last year as well. So that's pretty awesome. JJ Wang, give us some wisdom. Get us into week 14 and let's have a great playoff run and kick in there. What we got?
Yeah, just like I know like a lot of teams are, you're on bye this week. Actually, I'm in pretty good position. I'm kind of proud of myself this year in fantasy. I'm not gonna lie. Got a
I might get a
couple
couple buys. I got to
got
win
a
some.
couple leagues where I'm, fighting for that first round bye. I'm in the playoffs in the majority of them. This is when fantasy gets fun. So like enjoy this part of fantasy. I mean, because you pretty much guarantee you're going to lose more than you win, right? And
Mhm.
I know
Yeah.
I have.
Never do it
I've
for the
lost
money.
way more than I've ever won. So this is when you got to take in and enjoy fantasies when you're winning like this. So just enjoy it. Take it all in because it might not happen again for like 6 or 7 years. You're out of like $700 and no incoming money. So like I said, enjoy it. Hopefully it works out. If you're in enough leagues, you can win one of them. I would hope so. But yeah, as always, trust the process and trust yourself too as well. I guess.